All right, good evening, everybody. My name's Jan Rather. I'm the Infrastructure Engagement Specialist in the Mayor's Office, working closely with DOMI on this project. We're here to talk tonight about the West Carson Street Bridge Rehabilitation Project. Real quick, thanks to Sons of God Ministry that is hosting us here tonight, graciously letting us use their space. We really appreciate having community partners that, open their doors for these kinds of meetings. We're just going to go through a couple of introductions. I'm really here just to facilitate. The presentation is going to be done by the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, DOMI, and then the consultants on the project, JMT and TPD. Just did the introductions, but we'll go over our meeting norms, our safety overview, the project information and purpose, the proposed improvements, the project schedule, traffic control options, and the proposed, I know the ROW, but I don't know TCs. Right away and TCEs is temporary construction easements, thank you. And then we'll jump into Q&A at the end. Sorry. No, come on in. Real quick, these are just our meeting norms. They're sort of the ground rules that we like to establish before community meetings. So first and foremost is your physical and psychological safety. We encourage you to be here to listen, to learn, disagree respectfully if there's something you see that you disagree with, appreciate differences of opinion if there are any, be open to new ideas, and be present so that you can share any of this information back with your neighbors and communities. Real quick safety overview. The exit is going to be the same door. I think most of you all came in out this door and to the left. We do have a first aid kit here and somebody CPR certified. I'll be the person in the case of an emergency to call 911. I've got my phone here, so if somebody's having a medical emergency, get my attention, I'll be the one to call 911. Knock on wood, that hasn't happened in my almost 3 years here, so let's hope to keep it that way. With that, I think I'm going to hand it off to DOMI, but really we're here to introduce this project to the public, gather feedback, and present the proposed traffic control and pedestrian options.
Thanks, Jan. So I'm Erin Cowan. I am a senior project manager with the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure, and I'm the project manager for this team on the city's behalf. We have employed JMT as the prime consultant for design of this project, and so they will be the ones bringing the most of the presentation to you, and then we'll have a chance for questions for everybody. So I'll bring up Ryan, our lead here.
Thanks, Erin. My name is Ryan Murphy. I'm with JMT. I am the project manager for the West Carson Street project. As most of you know, where it is located right down the street between the northern limits of the city of Pittsburgh and McKees Roxborough. Sorry about that. So some of the proposed project improvements for the structure. This is rehabilitation. So what that means is we're keeping the structure as it is, just rehabilitating it. We're going to be putting on a new concrete deck, barriers, and sidewalk, replacing all the expansion dams, taking those plates off, putting new dams in, and kind of securing it from all the water infiltration from above. Putting a PPC, just a fancy term for concrete overlay on top. Some steel repairs, full paint of the structure, bearing replacements and repairs, and new approach slabs. So pretty much from the McKees Rock side all the way to the PennDOT limit on Stanhope Street will be all new concrete when everything is all said and done. And there's a couple of city lights in there that will be receiving new LEDs as well. So here's just a typical section. On the left is what the structure looks like right now. And on the right, when we get back to it here in a second, is the proposed structure. They are very similar. We're not changing a whole lot. It should be currently striped for 3 lanes. It is obviously worn off, so there's one northbound and one southbound lane. There will be a turning lane to turn right onto River Road if you're coming from the city. What's really hard to see on here is the sidewalk. You'll notice here on the existing, there's a gas line here. We're proposing to tuck that under the sidewalk and get it off of the sidewalk there and actually take the sidewalk out closer to the edge and make it a little bit wider for ADA and pedestrian purposes crossing, making a little bit more space. And pretty much everything underneath is the same. We are putting some new beams in here and there because of some deterioration, but overall the typical section looks largely the same. You can also see from the existing to proposed a new barrier type. There will be a higher barrier with a steel rail for aesthetic purposes there. So our proposed project schedule and phasing, we do anticipate work to be during daytime hours. Right now, the estimated construction cost of the entire project is around $5 million. And that's anticipated to start in the 2028 construction season and last until 2029. Exact timeframes are still up in the air as we move into the latter stages of preliminary design and into final design to kind of really tighten up that schedule. There are going to be some right-of-way takes and temporary construction easements so we can do some work in and around Chartiers Creek and access the structure from underneath. And with that, we can talk about some traffic control. So Amanda from TPD is who will be leading the traffic control for us.
Oh, it's hard to see over here. All right, for the traffic control, we have prepared 4 different alternatives to look at. And they all have varying costs associated with them and varying time durations to do the construction. So alternative 1 is a full closure with detour. It is the shortest because there's only one phase of construction there. But the detour and the full closure is for both pedestrians and vehicles. And then alternative 2 is the vehicular detour and pedestrian traffic on the bridge is maintained. So there will be staged construction for that one that allows the sidewalk to be built while pedestrians are on the bridge and then move back over. Alternative 3 has 3 stages. And actually, alternative 3 and 4 are very similar. They're both 3 stages. Alternative 3 was one that we looked at to review if a temporary traffic signal could allow two-way traffic on the bridge. What we found there was that the truck turning movements into actually going southbound did not work with that alternative. So that one had to be eliminated. And then the second one, our alternative 4, was also the 3-stage construction. This one maintained, what did we do? Detour direction was southbound, maintained northbound traffic, which was the direction of traffic which could make those turns off of the bridge and onto River Road. And so that was found to be a feasible alternative. It is 3 phases in order to do the work that's required on the bridge. And then alternative 4B, similar to 3, it was eliminated because those turns couldn't be made in that direction. So we were left with 3 alternatives there that are still on the table and have varying durations. And when we look at the pedestrian detour, we also understand that there is some road work going on in the back here on Linden that we currently propose to have the detour going up West Carson Street and turning down onto Linden there at the unsignalized intersection there, and coming down across the bridge onto Stanhope Street, and then back up and around to the bridge. So we understand that there is some construction there. I don't know what the time frame on that one is. There are also, the sidewalk on Bell is open to come down, and that one would be an acceptable way to get through there if the road is still closed. We'll also look at the private property shopping center and have some discussions with them in the future to see if there is any possibility of signing that as the pedestrian detour to come through there. But that is not something that we have looked into as of yet. So that's still something to be investigated. Let's look at the traffic control for the detour routes. So both northbound and southbound detour routes use the same route, and that is to go heading north on Intermodal Way, and then we come out at Angelina and up to the McKees Rocks Bridge and around on 65 to the West End Bridge, and then back onto West Carson Street. It's a fairly long detour, and we understand that, but it is the truck route, and so it accommodates all traffic. And I believe that's all of my slides, but I guess the, input and questions that we'll have, we'll have at the end, but we would love to hear input on the pedestrian detour and phasing, and how the community feels about the durations being longer. So as I mentioned, a full closure is the shortest, which lasts about one construction season, whereas 2 phases where we maintain pedestrian access will go into the second construction season. And then the third option with 3 phases of construction would last probably a full 2 construction seasons. So it's a full closure that whole entire time, or an impact that entire time, sorry. So up next is Gabrielle.
Hi, everyone. My name's Gabrielle. I'm also with JMT. And here on the slide is a map showing the existing and proposed right-of-way that currently stands, as well as the property owners within the project limits. In the red shading is our required right-of-way, and this area, like Ryan had kind of mentioned, currently within the legal right-of-way, there's no way to access the underside of the structure by Chartiers Creek. So this area would allow routine maintenance and cleaning to happen below, as well as like inspections or anything that is needed underneath the structure. The area in orangish yellow up on the screen, that is the temporary construction easement. This area will be used to access with vehicles and construction equipment that is needed during the rehabilitation process. We're going to have access roads on either side of Chartiers Creek there to allow for this construction to go on. If you notice, the war memorial is not going to be impacted by this work, so it'll be protected during construction. And then just as to fulfill the requirements of PennDOT Connect as well as the National Environmental Policy Act, we have to have this public involvement meeting as well as the PowerPoint presentation here. And so thank you for all participating and being a part of this public outreach and obtaining feedback. And I think with that, we will open the floor up for any questions that you may have.
I'm going to take this down. All right, so we've got one mic here. We're using this for folks on Zoom and for the recording that will go up on Engage PGH after the meeting. So I'm going to pass this mic around, and we ask that you use this. It's not amplifying your voice, it's really just for the recording. So are there any questions that we can start with in the room? And then Drew, if you'll let me know if there's any questions on Zoom.
Just real quick, happy is?
Yeah.
Do you have handouts with all your presentation slides so we can actually present them to, like, I represent ABC Transit. Every morning is probably 75 to 100 vehicles coming out of River Road making the left. So they would put the detour either through the bottoms, and these are, there's a trucking company next door too. A lot of that proposed is pretty horrendous to take 75 vehicles through residential areas instead of hitting Carson Street and going towards the city of Pittsburgh.
So in terms of sharing information, we'll put information up on on the Engage PGH page, but if there's a request for printed materials, we can print them out.
Timelines and everything was on there, the proposed stuff. To bring it to other people than the 15 people here, there's,
Yeah, we can definitely do that. If you connect with me after the meeting, we can exchange contact information. I'll make sure you get some
that's not
copies.
online, right?
It will be, this will be online, yeah, yep.
I checked, it wasn't, but you said it will.
Yep, it will be.
Yeah, and I think, Ryan, you can speak a little bit more to maybe the alternatives and re-explain also the traffic impacts.
Yeah, sure. So we're really here to try to get some feedback, like we said, about pedestrian closure, detours, what impacts everybody the most. We're trying to be accommodative. Of course, it'd be the easiest just to shut it down, right? And just go in there and knock out all the repairs at one time and open it back up. But that's not the easiest for everybody and all the stakeholders. So one good thing about potentially having a detour, whether it's northbound, southbound, or full closure, we do have intermodal way that is now open that we can use that has not been open before, that we don't have to send traffic through the bottoms. We know that there's some height restrictions down there in a residential area, so that's something we're not.
Up onto the McKees Rock Bridge or off the bridge.
True, yes.
You're going to add another 75 to 100 vehicles in the morning or 100 vehicles in the afternoon to that residential area, plus add extended period of time instead of just coming right out from the little industrial park down there and making a left to go toward the city. That would have to go all back through the 65, according to the post, but
That is correct. I believe the ADT for this structure is about 4,500, so any detour would impact about 4,500 vehicles.
Yeah, so the detour also, just so you know, like the detour will be would be the sign detour is what we're proposing, because then that also accommodates the trucks that use the area. Now, for a regular size vehicle that can get under the bridges in McKees Rocks without issue, they can certainly go to Angelina and make the left onto Chartiers, right?
if you cross the train tracks, right, and make a break, going back toward the speedway, or through McKees Rocks Police Department.
Well, the police department is, the intermodal way is kind of like West Carson Street Extension almost. Do you know where I mean there? If you turn right off of Railroad Street.
Hit the red light, you're at the train tracks. You can't make the left, because that's where the rehabilitation project is.
Right,
You can't, they don't want us going through
the shopping plaza.
shopping plaza.
No.
I don't know if someone could somehow.
But if you make,
If they did that, it would be as bad.
if you make the right though, you can go down and continue straight onto,
Towards Speedway.
towards the speedway, yeah.
Or if you took the other one to the left, that takes you behind the rough by the police department.
Yes, yeah.
But like I said, they want 75 school buses going down there.
No, and I think both of the exits out of that area there are signed as no left turn, so it wouldn't be the ideal way to go.
Change that during this for a detour.
Probably not. I assume that it is there for safety reasons because of sight distance and queuing coming from those signals and not being able to see past them when trying to make a left turn. So we would, I think, benefit to going to where the speedway is and making the left up there.
I mean, this is going to add a lot more traffic on.
It does add more traffic and it does add more time, which, again, there are pros and cons to everything.
When will they know what decisions they're going to make, short-term, long-term, mid-term, for the traffic? Shutting it down for complete shutdown, pedestrian traffic, or for traffic to go through. Do you know when that's going to come?
So we're going to take the feedback from this meeting. There'll be 30 days for continued feedback, whether it's online or directly with us. We will also be talking to McKees Rocks Borough with their public safety. We will then, at the city, we will review that. PennDOT will review the traffic as well, and we will come up with a decision at that time. I can't give an exact timeline. It'll probably be a couple months from now, but again, we're going to try and gather as much feedback and weigh out all of the, definitely prioritizing safety and responses. Yeah.
Definitely planning stage, but like I said,
Yes.
get those routes, because they have to go out to other people that are going to do these detours and routes. It's 2 years in the planning, but, as long as we can get those and plan ahead is what we need, not just, hey, this is what it is, it's done. Like, as long as we can plan,
Yeah.
because we're going to have to plan different pickups, different times, different, everything is going to be thrown off on this, and we don't want to just be thrown into it and, hey, here, go do this, and now you're a half hour late, 20 minutes late, buses can't make it. So,
Yeah. So I think my main takeaway from this is obviously the decision-making for Domi and the consultants, but making sure that you all get us your contact information on that sign-in sheet, because we will be sending out updates as decisions are made, as we get closer to construction. We keep all of our project contact lists and try to send information out as expeditiously and as far in advance as we can. So definitely make sure that if you didn't yet, we get your contact information so that we can share that. I want to jump to some other questions. Appreciate all your comments. Any other thoughts, questions in the room?
Hi, I'm Kathy. It is, okay, sorry, I was just checking. Sorry, Kathy Schwer with Mott McDonald. Actually, we are the design consultants for the Alcosan Ohio River Tunnel project, so very close to this bridge is one of our sites. And the question, and I might have missed it at the beginning of the slide presentation, is the schedule defined for when construction would start?
Yes, but it's very tentative. Our schedule is showing 27, 28 construction.
Is that dependent on funding or design or
All of the above. We're still in preliminary engineering, so that's, we're expected to go to final design here in the next several months, probably next year, early next year, and by the time that design is done. It's going to take a little bit more time. I want to add on to something real quick that Amanda mentioned earlier. The detours that you saw up here are going to be these signed detours. Obviously, there's numerous different ways to get around West Carson Street by foot and by vehicle. We just can't sign roads that can't handle and pedestrian detours that can't handle ADA requirements.
Thanks. We'll go to a question here and then we'll come over to you.
Hello, Matt Neidl, Naira Engineers, Borough Consultant Engineer. A couple of questions, a couple of things possibly to bring up. One question is there going to be any change to the height or weight limit restrictions on the bridge due to the proposed changes?
Do you have a couple of questions?
I have a couple. I'll rattle them off.
Rattle them off and come back to them.
All right. The second item is McKees Rocks Borough was approached to contribute 5% of the project. I have a question as to whether that is 5% of the overall project or if it's 5% of the signal, since McKees Rocks owns the signals but not the bridge. If it could be clearly defined to McKees Rocks what that 5% is of, I would appreciate it. Third thing is we have in McKees Rocks multiple construction activities. Kathy, who spoke earlier, mentioned about the Alcosan near-surface facility sites that is scheduled to take place during the same time frame as this. We also have a streetscape project which is planned to go from the bridge up Chartiers a little ways. Just, if you're not aware of it, please be aware of it, that these two might end up getting each other's way construction-wise, and that some of these detours, they might be trying to detour, they might be conflicting. The third item is we have Hayes Manor development on Bell Ave that's in the area around where the McKees Rocks Police and Borough building is, that is coming. It has not reached engineering approval yet, but they are looking to redevelop the Hayes Manor area back there between Locust and Bell. So those were the three things that I wanted to discuss here, was height or weight limit changes 5% of what, and to mention that there are projects in the vicinity to be mindful of. All right, thank you, guys.
Thanks again, and we'll try and answer all of those. Aaron, do you want to start? Or?
You can start with the weight limit.
So luckily, I can answer all those for you. First of all, height restriction will still be maintained. We cannot take off the top cord, so there will still be a height restriction. Weight restriction will be gone. That's the point of a lot of the steel repairs. We're going to strengthen the structure to take that load combination weight restriction off. 5%, can you contribute 5% of the total? That's what we're hoping for. No, that hasn't been defined yet. I tried. No, I'm joking. Yeah, it would be 5% of the signal. Is that correct, Aaron?
The signal only, which of course McKees Rock, so the only of the signal, if McKees Rock agrees to that, that would be the only portion, and it would be only those line items. And we do plan to have a follow-up.
Sorry.
The city and the design team will be providing the Borough Council additional information and will provide them very specific, whatever they need to help with the coordination of that. But yeah, the city will be working directly with the Borough Council on that matter.
And then the last one was just about coordination with other projects.
Yeah, so
Looking for an answer on any of that, just be mindful.
Okay.
yeah, it's something we are aware of that is coming with the Alcosan project and everything else at the city's streetscape project. We are aware of those. So what we'll do is we'll kind of monitor the status of our project and theirs. And just, it will be in the contract if there are conflicting construction areas to make sure that the contractor coordinates with the other contractors so they can't put up detours, a detour on a detour, or they can't close something when something else is closed. So there will be coordination language in the contract for that.
Thank you, guys, I appreciate it.
Thank you. And I think you had a question back here. Yeah, any question is valid.
I'm having some trouble hearing you specifically for whatever reason, so I just wanted some clarity about what we're talking about to be delivered by 2027, which is not actually referenced in this slide that we went back to. Is that just like design and schedule by 2027 for beginning in 2028, or just some clarity around what's happening by 2027, please?
Sorry about that. I believe I misspoke a little bit earlier when I said 2027. We'll be designing 26 and 27 to deliver the bid package to the contractor, hopefully the end of 27 for 2028 construction.
I'll just add a little note. So this will be bid out through PennDOT system ECMS for a contractor to bid on in the fall of 2027 is the current plan, and thus why we keep, there's those two dates floating around. But yeah, that is, the design will be done and out to bid. Construction is expected to start in 2028.
Could that information be added to this slide before it's sent out for everyone's access?
Yeah, we can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments in the room? I also want to acknowledge Councilperson Cale Smith joined us. Thank you. Yeah.
I just want to add that this is not the only project. We're also doing some beautification projects, and the city of Pittsburgh, you're going to have a separate meeting for that, right? So I'll let Jan talk about that later. But they received a grant for trees and beautifications, and including the War Memorial. So, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, our Department of Public Works is going to be following up with another meeting to talk about some of those beautification efforts. Did I see your hand raised?
No, I was just thinking in terms of detours and everything with all the different projects. Obviously, the McKees Rocks Bridge just reopened about a month or two ago to full access. There's rumors that the McKees Rocks Bridge will go back into some type of rehab within the next year or two. Does anyone know if that's true, or have you confirmed that that won't happen when this project's going on?
So we only know what's posted, by PennDOT at this point for the McKees Rocks Bridge. And when we looked last, which was earlier this week, it is completely done. I've heard rumors of additional projects coming up, but like we said earlier, we wouldn't put up this project, the detour on McKees Rocks Bridge, if there's an ongoing rehabilitation project. We would have to reevaluate what we're doing at that point. So we will monitor that one along with the cityscape and the Alcosan project and everything else in the area. So understood.
Any more questions, comments, concerns? Okay. So our follow-up, Aaron, I don't know if you can go back to the last slide. We have an email address on there. We also have our Engage PGH page. Engage PGH is our 24/7 engagement platform. So this project is on there. I believe there's a comment form on there. In the next couple of days, we'll be putting the recording from City Channel on that page, as well as these slides. We'll make a couple of updates to the slides. And we encourage you to subscribe to that page. You give us your email address, and we're able to send out project updates as that page gets updated. So as decisions are made, as we get closer to construction, we can send stuff out. And then I anticipate having another community meeting prior to construction as we get closer to that date as well. Want to say thank you again to everybody for coming out. Again, thank you to Sons of God Ministry for hosting us, City Channel for recording this so that anybody who wasn't here can rewatch it later. And also thank you to McKees Rocks for coming out to a City of Pittsburgh meeting. We really appreciate that as well.
I just want to thank Jan for do everything he does to keep these meetings together. I don't think people realize how many projects he's working on in our district alone, but he does this across the city, so thank you very much. And he's a District 2 resident.
Thank you, thank you. All right. Yeah, the consultant team will be here to answer questions. I believe there's still pizza out there, so grab some as you go home, and yeah, get home safe, everybody.